Imagine. Your whole universe is 4 miles long, and you can touch your sky with a ladder. Now imagine you're the only person alive who suspects there's more. This is the story of the boy everyone called mad. And the night we broke his universe to save it. I'm Arune. Hi. Big rivets opened onto a maintenance tunnel that smelled like oil and old rain. Ranon went first, because of course he did, and my scar was already whispering. A soft pull, like a thread hooked behind my heartbeat. Somewhere on this world, someone needed us. That's how the maze talks to me. We climbed out into a city under a sky of iron. Streets stacked on streets, little gardens under lamps that slid along rails, pretending to be a day, kids racing down ladder lanes. 4,000 people, easy. And overhead, where my stars should be, rivets. They call it the hull. They call it everything. Here's what everyone on this world knows from birth. The world is a cylinder 4 miles long, the hull is the edge of existence, and outside is a story for children who won't finish their dinner. They're not stupid, Hiantu. They're kind. They just inherited a very small sky. My scar tugged us down a lane of tea stalls, to a leaning tower of scaffold and salvage, and up to a loft with charts pinned over every wall. Charts of what, you ask? Everyone else asked it with pity. That's Pel's place, a tea seller told us, and she tapped her temple, gently. Pel was 20-ish. Ink on his fingers, one cracked lens in his glasses, and eyes that hadn't been believed in so long they apologized before he spoke. His crime? He measures things. Light leaks. Tiny sways in hanging chains. And every measurement agrees. Something is out there. Something enormous. He showed us his treasure like it might be confiscated. Because it had been. Twice. A pinhole in a blacked-out vent, where one hair-thin beam of light fell on the wall and moved. Slowly. Nightly. The hull has holes, he whispered, and the light outside travels. Stars. Hiantu. He'd found stars through a pinhole. Then the hull rights came knocking, wardens of the ceiling, bronze staffs, gentle voices. And, I want to be fair, generations ago, something struck the hull. People panicked. People died. So the wardens sealed every window and declared the sky a rumor. Fear can look exactly like care. That's what makes it dangerous. Ranon, meanwhile, fell in love with the sunrails. Actual lamps on actual tracks. Pretending to be a day. And in a dusty maintenance office, he found the thing he finds best. Old plans. At the bow of the world, welded shut for 100 years, a chamber marked the founder's eye. An observation dome. A window. Anika pressed her filigree to a rusted service port and the world told her its secret name. A ship. The Aldera. 900 years, out from a home nobody remembers, bound for a star nobody's watching for. The shutters were closed. 3 generations ago, temporarily. Temporary is the most dangerous word ever invented. That night at camp we had the argument you're supposed to have. Truth destabilizes. These people fell into despair once already. You don't wake a sleepwalker on the stairs. Anicut. It's a ship. Someone has to steer eventually. And me? I kept thinking about light traveling 900 years just to be called a lie. Here's where I landed, Hiantu, we wouldn't be giving these people a new belief. We'd be returning a stolen one. The sky was theirs, their great-grandparents watched it every night from the founder's eye. Someone took it away to stop the crying and never gave it back. Comfort that needs enforcing isn't comfort, it's a cage with cushions. While we planned, Vasha fed Pell what he swore was the first hot meal anyone had made him since his mother died. Big bowl. Double portion. No questions. Halfway through, his hands stopped shaking. Food does a thing arguments can't, it tells you somebody is glad you exist. He drew us the route to the bow while licking the spoon. The way to the founder's eye was 300 rungs of dark, said Stater in Sightvid, but just a sight and cow and opening a void chef's asholgrap that greered. He know how komnik sendered of the mount of to go lighted zinfermenst are hosh vile. Shafts nobody had opened since the ceiling. Vasha carried the lantern and half our gear like it was a picnic basket. Pell counted rungs under his breath. He'd mapped this climb in theory since he was 9 years old. A theory is just a hope with its homework done. Dum. Somewhere below, bells started ringing. The Hullrights had found the cut chain. I watched lamplight swarm the bottom of our shaft, like fireflies with a warrant. A poor side Stelly of Bovary include on herself, C. Elziden. Well, Maya. We are so illegal right now, we climbed faster. They reached the last bulkhead before we reached the crank, and here is Vasha's entire philosophy in one image. She didn't fight anyone. She just closed the door, set one palm flat against it, and stood there. Like a mountain being polite. 6 wardens pushed. The mountain said, warmly, soon. I promise. The shutter mechanism was a cathedral of gears, rusted into one solid sculpture of no. Annika read the original specs off a builder's plaque. Ran and re-rigged a sunrail motor into the winch. Oil, sparks, one word Ranan claims is engineering vocabulary. The great gear groaned half a turn. And jammed, of course it jammed. And I realized? It had to be him. Not because the crank needed one more pair of hands. Because a sky that's handed to you is just another ceiling. Pell, I said, open your window. He wiped his glasses. Set both hands on the iron. And put 20 years of being laughed at into one turn. The shutters peeled back, like the world opening its eye. And the stars came in. Thousands. Tens of thousands, blazing in perfect silence, and Pell made a sound I will never forget. Half laugh, half wound. The sound of being right, too late and exactly on time. My scar glowed like it was waving hello. Pum. The wardens finally broke through. Staffs raised. And stopped. Bronze clattered on the deck plates. The oldest of them, the one with the gentlest voice, walked to the glass like a man walking to a grave, and whispered. It's still there. He'd known. Hiantu, the keepers of a lie always half know. That's the weight they carry. Word doesn't travel on the Aldera. It's Stampedes. By morning bell, the corridors under the eye were packed. Children on shoulders, tea sellers, welders, the mad and the sane, all filing up to see the rumor. The sun lamps dimmed on schedule that night. For the first time in 3 generations, nobody minded the dark. They don't call him mad anymore. They stand in line while Pell, voice cracking, teaches his world its first constellation. He named it the Doubter. So we remember, he said. to be kind to the next one. I wrote his name in my journal that night. A little book I've decided to keep. Page 1, People We Helped. Above our brass door, the sigil flared amber and settled into something that looked satisfied. And far away in the hub, the keystone chimed. One small mark kindled on the pillar like a struck match. One world. One deed. The maze counts in kindness, Hiantu. What a strange, wonderful currency. Pell walked us to the door. He tried to give Ranan his star charts. Ranan refused, which for Ranan is character growth, so he gave us the pinhole drawing instead. The first light he ever caught. Annika's log that night? Deed confirmed. Astronomer, no longer alone. Note, the sky was worth the stairs. Back at the hearth, a new door had woken across the hub, a quiet one. No keyhole. A chalk-white sigil like a finger pressed to lips. When Ranan yelled his name vote at it, "Shushi," the door somehow disapproved. Loudly. In silence. Vasha stared at it for a long moment, then she reached for her satchel. So. Hiantu. My Hiantu. Our Hiantu, apparently. Tonight's question comes from Pell's World, and I want the truth. If you'd lived your whole life under a ceiling, would you want someone to open the window? Even if it broke everything you believed? Whisper it in the comments. See you at the quiet door.